and welcome. You're watching Head to Head on UATV. I'm Oles Gerjuk. Plans for reforming Ukraine's coal industry have been unveiled. The Energy Ministry will establish a new state enterprise called National Coal Company in November this year. What is it about and what difference can the new institution bring to Ukrainians? To answer these questions, we are joined in the studio by Roman Nitsovych. He is an expert working for DiXi, a group which works closely with Ukrainian governing bodies on the topic of energy. Hello and thank you for coming.
Hello.
So, Mr. Nitsovych, what is the idea of National Coal Company?
Well, the idea is to integrate the assets under operation of Ministry of Energy and Coal Industry. These are 33 coal mines, which are now subordinated to the ministry, and they will be united in a single company to optimize administrative cost. So the estimated decrease of this administrative cost is about $60 million. In this way, this company will combine and centralize all the procurement functions, all the functions on planning and projects, all the functions on services, and procuring equipment, modernizing the equipment of state-owned coal companies.
But how is going to be financed to modernize the equipment?
Well, the financing is another story. The plan of the government is to increase financing already this year for the purpose of modernization and procuring modern equipment for those coal mines which are perspective to become self-sufficient, solvent in the nearest time. So we expect that the government will increase funding for these purposes.
So then would you expect to change the state budget?
Indeed.
For what the amounts?
Well, the forecasted amount is 0.9 billion hryvnias, which is about $300 million.
And you mentioned that the expenses will decrease for $60 million?
$60 million, the administrative cost. So
why wasn't this implemented earlier then? Like, why would we have to wait 25 years for such a change?
The story of reforming the coal industry is quite long, and every government tried to optimize it. But in the end, we ended up in the situation when most self-sufficient, most effective mines were privatized, and the state now operates a portfolio of underinvested and financially obsolete mines. So the task for the government, in particular in the concept for reforming the coal industry adopted in May, is to end up the subsidizing of the industry, close down the non-efficient mines, and invest in those mines which can become efficient in a market environment.
So then explain how this will benefit the lives of Ukrainians, except of decrease of expenditures, except of closing some old mines.
Well, the share of state-owned sector in coal production is not significant. It's about 15%. However, we understand that coal will remain part of our energy balance in the coming at least 20 years, according to the adopted energy strategy. So in order to satisfy the demand for coal in this country, the state plans to optimize its portfolio, so to close down non-efficient mines, to invest in efficient mines and privatize them. So the end plan for the state is to exit this market at all, deregulate this market, and stop influencing this market. So it becomes private.
So state wants to give the chance to privatize the coal industry itself.
Yes, but in order, to make these assets somehow interesting for the investors, they need to be, financed first, not to become loss-making, but to become, efficient, to become profitable assets.
Well, as to me, the biggest problem of coal industry is the terrible working conditions on the mines, and mines collapse, the miners are dying. What do state officials want to do about that?
Well,
despite of closing the old ones, how do they want to buy this new equipment? Where do they want to get it from?
I agree that the issue of reforming the mines industry is a very complex one. It includes social, environmental issues and working conditions as well. And I believe that increasing state investment in the state-owned mines would benefit both in terms of production, but also in terms of labor safety conditions. So 100 million of those 900 planned for new financing is for procuring equipment on technical safety. So personal safety kits and other safety equipment.
And what's the level of state financial part currently right now?
Well, it has decreased, and the state now invests mostly in compensating the losses. So the idea is to invest more in restructuring, so to decrease financing for this loss compensation.
Well, so let's hope that these reforms will end up successfully for all of us.
Indeed.
Thank you so much for this conversation. That was Roman Nitsovych, energy expert and DiXi Group program manager. Thank you for watching Head to Head. I'm Oles Gerjuk. Goodbye.